Thanks for joining us. I'm Randall Bennett. It seems like just yesterday we were talking about the red ring of death, a big problem that caused Microsoft to recall millions of Xbox 360s and have to replace them free of charge to users. Now they're back with another bug, this one called the E74 bug, which renders consoles unplayable. Is this another problem for Microsoft? Their response seems to have been good so far. Let's ask two of the experts. First, we have Dan Frommer from the Business Insider. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you.
We also have Erica Ogg from CNET News. Erica, thanks for being with us.
Hey, sure, no problem.
So Microsoft is notorious, especially with the Xbox 360, for kind of putting out a shoddy product. This has been something that's been a big problem. I actually personally had to return my Xbox with the red ring of death. Now this E74 sounds like a whole new nightmare. Dan, what's your take on the situation? Has Microsoft done a good job responding?
I mean, this stuff happens. It's unfortunate that it happens. It's weird that they keep having hardware problems. But this is a long-term business for them. They have to do what they have to do. If it means warranty extensions or replacing devices, that's fine. Beyond gaming, Microsoft's trying to get into TV set-top boxes and media centers and a lot of things. So the Xbox is very important to them. It's doing very well in sales, at least compared to the PS3 so far. So I have no complaints. I don't have an Xbox, so I haven't had one break yet. But
I think if you would have, if you had one, it probably would break. So
yeah. So yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, Erica, what's your take on this whole situation? You cover gadgets for Crave, right?
Yeah. I remember writing about this when they offered the to repair all the red ring of death boxes 2 years ago, and I talked to a lot of users that were really upset that they had to part with their Xbox. And I think a lot of their frustration also stemmed from the fact that the repairs process was actually not that great. There was a lot of miscommunication. There was a lot of problems in terms of people would return a box and then they'd get back a refurbished one that wasn't theirs, that was even older than the one they sent in originally. So I think that, yes, like Dan said, it's a good thing that they're doing this, that they are going to be repairing them and they're being more proactive about it. But I would really hope that they learned from the experience 2 years ago, and that they would make the process a lot easier.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, before they were pretty good about proactively sending you like a shipping box to send back, but like you say, there were some problems knowing about status or getting an older box back or whatever. Moving on, let's talk for a second about a different category. So Nettops, it's kind of a new word for me. Erica, you wrote about this today. It basically means a netbook, but as a desktop. So these are typically all-in-one machines. They're not portable, but they do have things like a built-in webcam, a built-in microphone, and will kind of do the base specs for surfing the internet and using web applications. Now, Erica, one question I have about this, it kind of seems like a market in search, or a product in search of a market. Like, I don't see too many people really excited about this. Are PC manufacturers simply trying to jumpstart desktop sales, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, as far as desktops go, I mean, the category hasn't been interesting in a long time, and nothing is going to regain that market share for them. But this is something that could, inject a minor amount of interest in the category, especially right now. I think with the economy, I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea what they're doing. I mean, they're basically taking these Atom processors, which they also are using, in netbooks, and they're building these very lightly featured machines around them. They're nicer looking than just a tower and then a monitor. They look sort of iMac-esque, so it has a little bit of that cachet there, even though they're obviously not an iMac. Yeah. But they're also, you can have them in your house if you want just a centrally located machine. That may not be for the most tech-savvy of users, but, for a lot of people, if they just want to buy a $500 desktop that has everything included, something that they can pick up at Walmart or at Target or Costco, I think this could work.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely worth a shot. Dan, what do you think? Are you going to pick up one of these Nettops pretty soon?
It's interesting. I haven't seen one yet in a store. It's compelling. I mean, you don't really need a completely high-powered computer in your kitchen or in the spare room or something like that. So if you can get something for cheap with a bigger screen, because I think, a netbook is nice because it's portable, but that's really why people are buying them. Maybe geeks will, but normal people are not going to set up an external screen and do all that kind of stuff. So for a kitchen, maybe that's cool, but also if you're the kind of person who's buying a computer for your kitchen, you might also drop the extra $500-600 for an iMac or something like that. For the companies themselves, it's interesting that, just like netbooks, this is a way to increase unit sales, which a lot of investors and people are looking at, without really increasing revenue and profits that much. So, one bad thing it could do is actually lower margins for some of the PC makers, which is the last thing that their investors want right now.
I think it's pretty funny if you look at the category in general, like you say, Erica. It hasn't been interesting in a while, but computers have continued to kind of teeter down in price. I think this all-in-one nettop idea, I think nettop is kind of a ludicrous term to me, even though it really kind of just means that it's an Atom processor inside there. But I think if pulled off correctly, like you say, certain segments of the market could really see this as something positive and interesting. But I'm not going to be picking up one anytime soon. I doubt many of our viewers are either.
If it does one thing, it teaches them to kind of improve their product and kind of places they weren't comfortable going before, and I think that's a good thing for everyone.
Definitely. Well, guys, thanks for joining us so much. We're running out of time. Dan Fromer from the Business Insider, thanks so much for being on the show. And
Thank you.
Erica Ogg from CNET News and Crave and everywhere else on CNET. So thanks, you guys, and we'll see you next time. I'm Randall Bennett. Subscribe to us on iTunes. We just added our podcast feed. It's ready for you. I'll see you later.